The ComEd 4 have been convicted when former leaders of the electric utility were found guilty of conspiring to bribe former State House Speaker Michael Madigan in exchange for his help passing favorable legislation to the company. But what does all of that have to do with Chicago real estate? Well, Madigan is facing his own political corruption trial set to start next year, and while he held office for a record 50 years in Springfield, much of it as the powerful speaker, he became one of the most central figures in the shadows of Chicago's property tax system. Madigan built real estate sway not just due to his influence over public policy, but his success as a property tax attorney who fights to lower the tax bills of some of the city's biggest landlords.
Let's dive in. This ComEd 4 case itself doesn't have too much to do with real estate, but Madigan himself is a key figure to Chicago's real estate market and how it functions. Few property tax law practices rival Madigan's in its scale or skill, especially when it comes to the very top of the market. Madigan and Getzendanner regularly files and wins the biggest property tax appeals for downtown skyscrapers and Cook County commercial buildings. It was the top-ranked law firm in the Real Deal's recent analysis of tax assessment fights. Since 2017, it cut nearly $1.5 billion in assessed values in Cook County, more than any other law firm over the same period, and they saved property owners millions of dollars in taxes. Real estate investors have long criticized Cook County's property tax system for its complexity and lack of transparency. They say the unpredictability of property tax costs in Chicago repels would-be buyers. But that might be the way that lawyers in Madigan's field like it. He's long faced accusations of advancing public policy that could help steer business to attorneys such as him and others like him. And he's also faced questions over ethics for his representation of some clients who had business before the state. He has denied any wrongdoing and pleaded not guilty since being indicted by a federal grand jury on racketeering and bribery charges. This criminal trial, as well as Madigan's own, which is set to start next year, could further that shift, which in many ways has already started. For one, another powerful tax attorney and longtime public official who just ended a run as Chicago's longest-serving alderman, Ed Burke, faces his own separate federal criminal charge. Not only does the tax attorney business stand to feel some potential impact as the public learns about how the top firm in its industry built its business while Madigan stands trial, but voters in November also gave Fritz Kagi a second term as the Cook County assessor. He replaced former assessor Joseph Berrios, who came under fire after an investigation by ProPublica and the Chicago Tribune showed how often lawyers were able to cash in on suspiciously consistent inaccuracies in assessments of many commercial properties. So as the criminal cases against the former Illinois House Speaker and fellow tax attorney Ed Burke drag on, the public gets a chance to learn more about each of their operations. Whether or not either man is convicted, voters are likely to learn a little bit more about how each one, and Madigan in particular, accumulated such a vast knowledge of Chicago's property tax system, and how he used it to attain and maintain power. They'll also get more familiar with how the property tax system impacts the overall real estate market in Chicago. It's a city where tax rates vary widely by neighborhood, asset class, and the political connections of property owners and their lawyers, all of which figure as major factors in the decision-making of investors and developers. Thanks for watching.